This is Grunt to Groan, sales lessons learned from professional wrestling. Coming to you from the fabulous Delaware Wrestling Thunderdome, I'm your host, Benjamin Burrows.
I am one voice that stands alone. I am one choice to man the throne. Stand guard and take shots, give it all I got. All I got is this microphone.
And hello and welcome to Grunt to Groan, sales lessons learned from professional wrestling. I'm your host, Benjamin Burrows. We are not coming to you from the fabulous Delaware Wrestling Thunderdome. Instead, we are coming to you from the bunker on Buena Vista Avenue. That's right. We are practicing social distancing and being careful during the COVID-19 pandemic. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time to listen to episode 53 of Grunt to Groan, sales lessons learned from professional wrestling. And remember, you are the great American thunder on which this nation rolls, because nothing happens until something is sold, until you get out there and you sell it. And again, thank my producer, Dave the Ray, for making this podcast possible. We're doing this in and from different locations, social distancing. We're practicing that. Audie Jenkins is in one location, and I want to thank her for all the show prep. Dave the Ray, our producer, thank you for putting this whole thing together. Gunnar Haskins, thank you for being our catch-all. And I think we got a pretty neat episode given the COVID-19 pandemic right now. As you know, on previous episodes, we had talked about how important it is to be a sales professional during this time, and how collaborative selling ties in to this time right now, and how social selling ties in to this time right now, and how to tie all of that together to be impactful for your clients right now. And today, on this episode, I want to talk about doing business during the COVID-19 pandemic. Again, how to tie all of this together to be the best sales professional you can be for your clients. Now, I want to remind you, you can buy the book, Grunt to Groan, Sales Lessons Learned from Professional Wrestling, at Amazon.com, BarnesandNobles.com, Walmart.com. Now, look, if you would like to order the book in mass quantity, let's say 7 or more, because you want to use it as a sales training tool or a sales motivational tool, just let me know. Email me at greatamericanthunder@gmail.com, and we'll make that happen. That's greatamericanthunder@gmail.com. Also, we are looking post-COVID-19, so I'm looking to book some public motivational speaking events. And if you and your sales organization are looking for a motivational speaker and you like the message of what we're doing, please let us know, and let's get something on the books for the remainder of 2020. You can email me at greatamericanthunder@gmail.com, greatamericanthunder@gmail.com. So let's get past all that, and let's jump right into the podcast. How do we do business today with COVID-19? Now, in our last episode, we talked about 4 impactful things you could do to do business. But how do we learn lessons from professional wrestling and tie that together with the industry of professional sales? And that's what I want to review today. Episode 53, Doing Business During COVID-19. Now, the source for this podcast comes from a pretty exciting article that I found online. It was posted on April 16th, 2020, and it comes from the Alice Style, which is the student-run newspaper at Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. It is a cool article that was written by Alex Altman. It was posted on alistolive.com, and it was entitled Grappling with the Virus, How COVID-19 is Shaping Pro Wrestling. And Alex Altman, kudos to you. I found it to be a very informative and educational article, and kudos to alistolive.com for allowing you to post that article. So what can we do to keep doing business during COVID-19, and what lessons can we learn from professional wrestling? How are they continuing to do business during this trying time, this pandemic that has impacted our country? Here are a couple things, and this is what I gained from reading this article by Alex Altman. Again, Grappling with the Virus, How COVID-19 is Shaping Pro Wrestling. Number one, keep doing what you're doing. Maintain your routine. You know, a lot of us are working from home right now, and our routines may be disrupted. Well, don't let that happen. Keep doing what you're doing. Maintain your routine. That's what's going to make you successful in professional sales. It is what is making professional wrestling successful right now. Alex Altman wrote in his article, professional wrestling companies such as AEW and the WWE are continuing to promote shows and pay-per-views. They are moving forward with operations as normal as possible. And you can tune in to Pro Wrestling National Broadcast of the WWE on Monday night, on Wednesday night, and on Friday night. And you can tune into the national broadcast of AEW on Wednesday night, and you can find they are continuing to operate in their routine. They are continuing to operate as normal as possible. Now, the wrestling shows look a little different because there's no live audience. But the product that they are providing is pretty much the same. Now, we saw this past weekend with NASCAR. They started racing with no live audience. We saw this a couple weeks ago when ESPN started to broadcast Korean baseball. Again, with no audience. The idea here, though, is that they are continuing to do what they do, and they are trying to maintain their routine. And as sales professionals, this is vital to our continued success. So from working at home, you take the routine that you normally applied while working on the road and just translate that into working from office. If you were on the road by 6:30 every morning, you sit down in front of your computer at 6:30 every morning. Do not break your routine. Point number 2 from this article by Alex Altman: adjust as necessary. You see, live events have been canceled, and larger promotions, like we noted, like the WWE and AEW, are continuing to promote shows and pay-per-views. Now, they had to adjust because they are now broadcasting from empty arenas, and some of those broadcasts are no longer live, they're pre-recorded. They had to adjust as necessary. We have to do the same thing. And in previous episodes, we talked about how to do that adjustment. We talked about collaborative selling. We talked about social selling. And we talked about the importance of selling right now. We had to adjust. You have to adjust. So how did this impact professional wrestling? Well, if you go back to October 19th, 2019, back when AEW was first premiering on the TNT network, they were attracting about 1 million viewers. NXT, their rival on Wednesday night, a WWE product, was attracting about 719,000. Now, at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, which I say is March 9th, 2020. That could be up for debate, but let's use March 9th as a benchmark. On March 9th, AEW attracted, on their Wednesday night program, 766,000 viewers. NXT, 697,000 viewers. So viewership went down from October to March, but at that time in March, the products were both leveling out on where they stood viewership-wise. Now, you fast forward about 2 weeks, March 19th, AEW spiked at 932,000, NXT 542,000. You fast forward to May 19th, and you find that AEW was at 654,000 for their weekly broadcast, NXT 604. So they had a slight drop, but nothing significant. So in adjusting as necessary, there was a slight drop, and you've probably seen that in sales since the pandemic has started, but nothing earth-shattering, nothing that rattles professional wrestling to the point that it jeopardizes their product or jeopardizes their standing in entertainment value. As a matter of fact, on May 12th, WWE's Monday Night Raw recorded one of its largest viewerships since the pandemic has started. They recorded 1.9 million viewers. That was up over May 6th, 1.6 million viewers. So adjusting as necessary can help you stabilize your business and can help you grow your business. At least that's what we're seeing in professional wrestling. Point number 3 from Alex Altman's article. Think outside of the box. Now, here's what Alex wrote. While most promotions are putting their live events on hold, Craig Kieseman is forging ahead with plans to start a new promotion based in Kansas City, Missouri, called Viral Pro. In response to the pandemic, the studio wrestling show will limit the amount of people on set. Kieseman said they are trying their best to follow guidelines and we're doing commentary remotely. So now they're thinking outside the box. They're recording the program, but then doing the commentary for the program remotely. Then Viral Pro, according to Alex Altman, has set up a payment page where fans can pay to watch each episode. They released their second episode on April 10th. Kieseman said that this is a substitute for fans buying tickets. So here is a local, independent, professional wrestling promoter, Craig Kieseman, who is thinking outside of the box, adjusting as necessary, and continuing to do what they do. He's maintaining their routine. He is setting up a viral professional wrestling show that the audience can pay to watch. He's thinking outside the box. As sales professionals, and we look at the products that we offer and the services that we offer and the clients that we serve, are we taking the time to research and think outside of the box on how we can help our clients move forward during the COVID-19 pandemic? That's our job. Our job is to look ahead now, to look post-COVID-19, and start to research and think through, what does my client's business look like in 60 days, in 90 days, in 6 months? What does it look like a year from now? We need to think outside the box. And finally, this is crucial and it is important. Feed off your brothers and sisters in the profession of sales. Be in communication with your sales partners as much as you can and afford to be. Altman wrote in his article, the wrestlers in these shows, these broadcast with no audience, the wrestlers in these shows have no audience energy to feed off of, causing AEW to put other wrestlers at ringside for the sake of having crowd reactions, which could lead to their winning the Wednesday Night Wrestling Wars. You see, they adjusted. And the wrestlers are feeding off of their brethren and their sisters in the industry of professional wrestling. And we need to do the same. You know, we can't look at our clientele base and think of everything that they might need post-COVID-19. So it's important for us to be in touch with our peers and brainstorming with them. At the bottom line, despite the COVID-19 pandemic, Alex Altman writes, wrestling is not going anywhere anytime soon. He writes, for fans, wrestling will be around. Wrestling won't die just because of this. And neither will professional sales. And neither will you as a sales professional. But now is the time that we put in the work that will elevate us over the competition and right into the heart of what our clients need. And for that, I'm going to wrap up this episode, number 53 of Grunt to Groan, Sales Lessons Learned from Professional Wrestling. Thank you so much for downloading the podcast. Thank you so much for listening to us. If you have any feedback or any comments, please email me at greatamericanthunder@gmail.com. That's greatamericanthunder@gmail.com. Don't forget, pick up the book. You can get it at Barnes & Nobles, .com, Amazon.com, Walmart.com. It's entitled Grunt to Groan, Sales Lessons Learned from Professional Wrestling. Again, I want to thank you for taking the time to download and listen to our podcast. And remember, you are the great American thunder on which this nation rolls, because nothing happens until something is sold, until you get out there and sell something. So quit listening to me and get out there and sell something.
Stand guard and take shots, give it all I got. All I got is this microphone. I give